Afternoon, everyone. This is Dale Stonick. I'm the Director of Safety here at ACE Doran. I'd like to take this moment and thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. Joining me today on our call is Jim Collins, President of ACE Doran. Jim, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Dale. I'm doing well. Good afternoon, everyone on the phone. I hope you're having a good Wednesday.
Also, Chad Leiter, Director of Operations. Chad, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dale. Welcome, everyone, to our first all call of 2021. Hope you're all doing well.
All right, thank you. Jim, do you want to get us started?
Sure. Well, as Chad said, first of all, let me just say welcome to all of you and Happy New Year. That seems really weird. 2020 in some ways I think flew by, and in other ways it didn't so much. But anyway, here we are in 2021, so Happy New Year to all of you. Certainly hope that your families and you are safe from the COVID vaccine. I can now, or the COVID virus, I can now tell you from experience that I'm a COVID survivor. I had it back through the holidays, and it's no fun, I can tell you. So if you haven't been down that road, please continue to take precautions and keep yourself safe. As Chad mentioned, this is our first call for 2021. I guess I'll just inform you, if you don't know, we are going to do this every month at 2 o'clock on the last Wednesday of the month. And I think the reason we decided to do that is just, it feels good to continue the collaboration and the communication, communicating with employees, agents, and obviously all of our drivers. So this started, as you recall, I think Mrs. Taylor was championing the idea when COVID first started almost a year ago, but we found a lot of value in it. Hopefully you all have as well, and so we're going to continue. So 2 o'clock last Wednesday of every month, and we'll look forward to being with all of you then. The last thing I'll say for now, just in my opening little segment here, is thank you to everyone on the phone, owner operators, drivers, agents, employees. ACE Doran set a revenue record in 2020. We surpassed our 2019 revenues by over $6 million, about 6.2 actually. So to me, to set a revenue record in a year like 2020 was just speaks really highly of everybody that's on the team, everybody that's part of the team. Just couldn't be more proud of how hard everybody worked, and especially when you think about it, we're still in scary times, but think back to how we all felt back in March, April. We didn't really know what this virus was all about, and people were scared, and people are still scared. But at that time, it was really something. So for all the drivers to keep staying out there and cranking like you did, just cannot thank you enough. So with that, Dale, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. I just want to remind anyone, if you do have a comment or you want to share a tip with your fellow driver, you can hit *3, and at the end of our presentation here, we will take those calls. I want to start off the safety piece, just thanking our drivers for doing a phenomenal job last year when it came to roadside inspections. On the general freight side, we had a clean inspection rate of 71%, and then on the WIN government side, 87% clean inspections. If I'm not mistaken, that percentage may actually lead all the divisions within the Bennett family of companies. So by all means, let's keep that going into this year. Clean inspections are obviously a lot easier for everyone to deal with than one with violations. So with that, I just want to congratulate some of our drivers who've had clean inspections here in the last 30 days. So I'm going to go ahead and read their names off. We have William Frank, Tom Addison, Charles Thompson, Gary Keller, John Whitson, Matthew Starkweather, Aldrin Miller, Alexander Castro, Bruce Bailey, Dennis Persinger, Charles Tall, Scott Thompson, Tony Weaver, Bob Buchanan, and Jason Sarabian. So thank you so much. Another couple of things I wanted to talk about is making sure we're prepared for the winter driving season. Obviously, winter driving is vastly different from the other seasons that we have to deal with. So just a couple of tips to remind everyone is when you get out there, you got to make sure you have the right gear. cold weather gear in your truck, such as extra non-perishable food, water, high visibility jacket, warm clothing and blankets, extra medication, flashlight with spare batteries, an ice scraper, shovel, a bag of sand. This is the gear that can make a difference in the event of emergency. Think about keeping at least a half a tank of fuel in there. That way, along with blended fuel, so your lines don't freeze. Being prepared also includes checking before you leave, checking your route, seeing if there's any adverse weather along that route. If there is, making contingency plans. You may have to stop before what you intended. Thinking about other professional drivers at truck stops may be full, so have a backup place to stop. If you do stop, just keep your fleet manager or agent in the loop to let them know that you stopped and when you can expect to get rolling in, so they can communicate that with the customer. Some other tips is make sure you clear the snow from your windshield and mirrors, and if you have LED headlights, they may not be getting warm enough to burn the snow off, so you want to keep those clear so that other motorists can see you during adverse weather.
So Dale, just to follow up on one of your points, hopefully you all are more prepared than yours truly here speaking. I was up in Northwest Indiana either last week or the week before, had dinner with a customer and left here the day before, Cincinnati, and it was a pretty nice day. So I have my Ace Doran windbreaker on, my dress shoes, no ice scraper in the car. So I get up the second morning and here it had snowed overnight. And I look at my car out in the parking lot covered with snow, and I've got my windbreaker and no scraper. So preparedness is important, and I need to listen to Dale, and hopefully you guys are.
Yeah, keep your ice scraper just in the back at all times.
Yeah.
So, because you never know where you might end up going. It may be warm weather where you're at, but you may get on a load that puts you into an area where you're going to need that and wish you had it. A couple other things, just want to remind everyone on speed. We had an issue or multiple issues with drivers speeding last year, and we've had one or two already since the beginning of this year. Just, watch for those speed limits. Make sure you're at or below it, especially when you're coming into urban areas. Anticipate that. Going down a hill is another place where we tend to get violations. I would say if you're keeping up with the flow of traffic right now, you're probably going too fast, because from what I can tell, most motorists are speeding way faster than they ever did before the pandemic. So don't fall into that group. They're going to pull out the commercial driver first and foremost and give them a violation or write you up on a roadside violation. Just a reminder, handhelds is another thing that came up here in the last week or two. At no time can you actually have an electronic device in your hand. It needs to be hand-free, so don't put it in your hand. And then finally, I just want to wrap up is watching out for those fixed objects. Seen a couple events already this year where we're backing in or sliding into either people's passenger cars or hitting signage. So know what's out around you, get out and look, look for those hazards, and definitely do what you have to avoid them. So, star 3, if you have a question or comment. I'm going to turn it over to Chad right now. Chad?
You guys doing gift cards?
Yeah,
time for gift cards. All right.
Pat and I have already got one, and we just drew the second one. So, Pat, who was our first winner? Quentin McCall. We will be sending you your gift card. We'll be in touch with you after the call. So, thank you for tuning in.
Awesome. Thanks, Chad.
Then we'll have another one here after my 4-hour presentation. Just kidding. No, Dale, thank you. Thanks again for everyone being on the call. I want to go over a couple things from a operational/safety perspective first. Then we'll get into the national load-to-truck ratio average rates in the open deck and van division. And then we'll go over how Ace Doran compares to that, and then I'll go over our top revenue producers in our open deck division, van, power only, and government. So first, I think there were several of you over last weekend that went in non-compliance due to your 90-day maintenance reports or annual inspections. So if you guys are sending those in, we really encourage you to do that through Drivers IG so they get uploaded automatically into the system. If you are sending them in and you're sending them directly in, please send them in to safety@acedoran.com. Is that correct, Dale?
Yep.
So we're getting our hands on those to limit you guys going into non-compliance. So the last thing that we want to happen is that you it's a Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon, you're getting ready to start, you need to get fuel money, you're trying to self-dispatch and you're non-compliant and can't do it. Because there's really on the weekend and after hours, there's really not much we can do. I can reach out to Dale, Lori, everyone in safety, but at times we cannot get in contact or get you out of non-compliance. Another thing, I think Dale's working on wrapping up safety meeting for Q1. And
Online version?
Online version. We're going to be doing that again this year. And then, Jim, we had a record payout, I believe, on safety bonuses, right, from 2020. So
yeah, just yesterday, actually. Well, yeah, I don't have the 2020 total. I think it was probably over $400,000.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to $500,000. But I know yesterday, I was going to mention this in a little bit, but yesterday we paid out $107,612 in fourth quarter safety bonuses. So we're averaging north of $100,000 a quarter in safety bonuses.
That's awesome. But the crazy thing is too, is there's still, Dale, how many? What was our completion percentage of our fleet last year on safety meetings?
We averaged 265 drivers a quarter, which is roughly 57% of our fleet.
So there's a lot of you guys out there and gals that are giving up to $3,000 away every year. So if you have any questions on that, reach out to Dale and his team. If you're having issues logging on to Drivers IG, you can get with Alexander DeShano and Pat Timon to help you with that. Your passwords, usernames, because there's a lot of money to be had there. And I hate for you guys to miss out on that because we can all use every dollar we can get.
Chad, I don't want to interrupt your presentation there, but just before I forget, Dale, how do we communicate to the drivers, like when the Q1 safety video is out there and available, and then when the Q2 one is, so they get plenty of notice that it's available for viewing?
So we can communicate that via Drivers IG and do a Facebook post also.
So that's how we'll do it?
Yep. So I'm committed to getting the voiceover stuff done this week.
Okay, and then there is no in-person let me rephrase it, 4 online safety meetings is perfectly satisfactory, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it, thanks.
But if the driver wants to stop in, we will do that.
That's what I was going to say. If you guys are in the Cincinnati area, don't hesitate to stop by. There's been a few guys that have came through, I think, already this year. Some of our wind energy drivers were in the area, stopped by, and I think we did that. And then I know Alexander's always anxious to get guys to stop by here so he can get some truck photos to put out on Facebook so we can show your guys' trucks off. So getting into to the national loaded truck ratios and rates on the open deck side. We've seen to start the month we were at 52 to 1 on the load to truck ratio, 52 loads to the truck to one truck. That has dipped down to 44 to 1 as of this week. National rates back in October, they were at 245. In January they've ticked up to 248. That's on the open deck side. On the van side, the load to truck ratio is 3 loads to every truck currently. That was as this week, and at the beginning of the month it was 7 to 1. Average rates in October were $2.40. It spiked in December up to $2.46, and then it has dipped down to $2.40 back to the October average. I know our van division is right in the sweet spot on those on that average. I think their top end is probably around 275. and low end is probably 240 right now. So they're seeing a lot of success in that division. Those van drivers that are on the call, thank you for that. In terms of where Ace Doran stands and our rate per mile average on the open deck side and general freight, I haven't been able to back out the van division yet, but we're at $2.83 a mile so far in January, compared to $2.35 per mile last January. So seeing an increase in the rate per mile on the open deck side.
What was it, Chad? What?
This year we're at 283.
Versus what last year?
235.
Wow.
235. Load count right now, this was through yesterday. We're at 4,746 completed loads. Last year for the entire month we were at 4,917. So we'll be trending north of that. We'll probably be well over 5,000 by the end of the week. Lastly, I'll go over our top 1099 revenue guys for 2020. On the open deck side, we had Nathaniel Cheeky Torres, who was a top guy out of Bill Hoag's terminal. Number 2 on the list was Mikel Fournet out of North Carolina, and then Harold Knight out of our terminal down in Owensboro, Kentucky. On the van side, it was Michael Lunsford, and Jason Sarabian, and Robert Morris. Then on our power only, which I believe all 3 of these guys, maybe the first one was in and out of it a little bit, but the other 2, that's all they did in 2020. So the top one was Garland Woodford, Justin Anderson, and John C. Those 3 drivers primarily hauled FedEx and UPS for our team down in Louisville, Kentucky, 756 and 796. So one thing to note to the drivers that are doing that are working for 756 and FedEx, we received information today that FedEx is going to a Vector mobile application to check into a lot of their hubs, and that goes just like Jim said earlier to the COVID-19 protocol, less face-to-face contact. It's not mandatory yet. It's a voluntary app download that you have to do. If you guys have any questions that have done FedEx in the past, reach out to Victor or Jermaine down there at 756 so we can get in line with FedEx's policies there. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Dale.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Do we have another name to draw here?
Robin Carsner.
Robin Carsner. So we will get a hold and send that out. Thank you. All right. Jim, did you want to have a follow-up?
Yeah, just to follow up on a couple things that Chad said. When you mentioned all the revenue leaders in the different divisions, it just makes me think about how diversified we've become at Ace Doran. I was just jotting down here when you were talking, but you know, we've got the wind division, van division, power only, government. Obviously, we're machinery haulers, steel haulers, aluminum haulers, and a lot of general freight, lumber, pipe, fabricated steel, etc. So I think that diversification has really served us well. And you know, as far as our 2020 results and how we feel about 2021, I think really that diversification it's really important. If we see things slow down in one area, fortunately, we might be busy in another area. So it's great to see the way all of that's working. And then I wanted to bring up dash cameras. We've talked about this on this call, and my guess is 95% of you on this call probably have your dash cameras. But as I mentioned just a few moments ago, yesterday we paid out over $107,000 for the fourth quarter of 2020 for safety bonuses. Well, effective January 1st of 2021, if you don't have a cloud-based operational dash camera in your truck, you will not qualify for the first quarter safety bonus. The only exception to that is our government teams that run for Doug Hibbs. There's been some bouncing around on exactly what kind of camera we need for those trucks because of the Hero certification and the government and so on. So anyway, I know there are some of you on the call. I saw the Mungros and a few other ones, so that does not apply to you. But everybody else on the call, you know, you need to have that operational cloud-based dash camera by the end of the quarter. And again, we're literally paying out over $100,000 a quarter, and just really want to make sure you have your dash cam in by the end of the quarter, so you don't miss out on your payout. Dale?
Oh, thank you, Jim. So before I forget, I do want to mention we had a suggestion from one of our drivers to include the annual inspection onto Driver's IG. So it was uploaded within the last couple of days here. So it has the Ace Doran logo on it, and it's under the safety tab. So if you go to a facility and you want to use ours, go ahead and you get that printed off and give it to them. We'll make sure, or it'll make sure that the vendor has their name, address, and phone number, which is what we require. And then just always double check your VIN on your equipment. A lot of times the inspectors will make a mistake, and if it's incorrect, it'll tie you up until it is corrected. So if you double check that, it'll make it smooth a lot, make it smoother to go through our system. And if you want to make it easier on yourself, we only need the last 6. If they put a full 17, it's just more opportunity for mistakes. So we've got another winner here. We're going to go ahead, $50 gift, or $50, we're going to gift cards, or
Yeah, I think we're doing $50 gift cards, yeah.
To Marlon Moore. So Marlon, we'll get that out to you shortly here.
I just thought of one other thing, speaking of gift cards, and I might be putting the cart before the horse, but if I mention it on this call, we're committed to the idea. We had a meeting last week, and one of the things we'd like to do in 2021 is more driver recognition. You know, at the end of the day, the success that Ace Doran's experiencing, you know, ultimately goes back to one group of people. You hate to say that because agents, employees, a lot of people involved, but we just feel like we need to do a better job of driver recognition. So we haven't figured out exactly what that's going to look like yet. I think Chad's running a point on that, right, Chad?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So we're going to try, you know, I want to get some jackets made, different things, get them out to some different drivers for, you know, obviously there'll be some kind of criteria. It will not be all revenue driven. You know, being eligible for your safety bonus obviously would be a component of that. So anyway, no big deal, but on the other hand, just wanted you all to know that, you know, we want to try to do a better job of recognizing and appreciating and getting some Ace Doran swag out to you. So we'll be working on that as we move forward here.
Okay.
Yeah, one other thing that I wanted to mention too. I mentioned it on a call earlier today. I know January, the first quarter is typically can be either feast or famine out there on the open deck side, and I'm not sure why it didn't hit my notes, but we're seeing a lot of opportunity right now in the Midwest with several of our customers, from all the way from steel and aluminum to building materials, and customers offering incentives to load at their facilities. So it's a wide range, but several of our customers here in the Midwest are reaching out, wanting capacity. So if you find yourself in a position, a slow start to the year, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or anyone in Central Dispatch. Be more than happy to put you in contact with some of those agents that are getting rate increases on the spot market right now to utilize capacity. So apologize for not mentioning that earlier.
Thank you, Chad. So *3 if you have a question or comment. We do have someone in our queue. We're going to go ahead and talk to Violet. Violet, you have a very good question.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
How are you?
I just say you're living the dream.
That's good to hear.
Go.
It's a few of my friends that drive for other companies. They have received violations for snow on top of their trailer and ice. And is there a way that we at ACE have got contacts? Because I know that the TA has quit shoveling snow off the top of our trailers. Is there something that we can get in place for the van drivers so if they do have experience be in a high snow or high ice area to see about getting that snow removed for them so we don't get violated for it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. To be completely honest with you, I don't think we have anything in place at this point. We will call Jeff Criley after the meeting. He's the director of our van operations. Maybe Jeff's on the call, I'm not sure. But yeah, what a great suggestion, Violet. We need to look into that.
Good point.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's like, yeah, at this time we just don't have any facilities that have those scrapers that they can run underneath and knock the snow off.
Yeah, and it just came to my attention. Go ahead, Jim.
I was going to say, I think I missed a call from you when I was home and down with the virus. And so if you still need to talk to me, please call me back. And I apologize for not calling you back. I just realized when I saw your name, I'm like, oh man, I owed her a call. So call me if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get with Jeff on the removal of the snow and ice, and appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Violet. So star 3 if you have a comment or an additional tip. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the last name for our $50 gift card here. Derek Bagley is our final winner of the call. So congratulate all of our individuals who won something today. So thank you for calling.
You have the 4 written down. Who was it?
Yes.
Derek Bagley and who else?
Marlon Moore, Robin Karsner, and Quentin McCall.
Okay, awesome.
So it pays to listen.
That's right. That's right.
Pays to call in. So we do not have any additional callers at this time. So we'll just start wrapping up some comments, and just want to thank everyone for calling in. Appreciate all the work you do for us out there. You know, without your hard work, obviously there's no need for us, and I'm just very grateful for all the sacrifices everyone does, you know, for this organization.
Yep, absolutely. I guess I would just like to ask, you know, especially since at this point we're committed to the idea of doing this every month. You know, we've got like 150 people on the call, so great participation. Thanks to all of you. But please let us know what you would like to hear on these calls. Is the type of stuff we talked about today, is that what you want to hear? Are there different things? You know, you can either email us, text us, call Chad, call Dale, call me, whatever. But I just want to make sure that we're being relevant, and I was going to say being interesting, but we can't guarantee we'd be interesting. But I just want to make sure we're covering what you all want covered. So if there are topics that you would like us to do, please let us know. If you would like us to bring in, you know, quote unquote industry experts or someone to speak on certain topics, you know, we probably will have Lauren Bailey on the fuel thing. Maybe not every month. I don't know how y'all feel about that, or if we should do that like every other. I know David Lowery will be joining us, you know, probably at least quarterly. David always enjoys being on these calls. So let us know. Are these good? Is there other stuff we should be doing? Please let us know. We want them to be interesting and relevant.
So thank you, Jim. Oh, they're screening. Okay. So we do have an additional caller coming in, and we're just waiting for it to get through the screening process. So, but by all means, if there's some stuff that you'd like to hear us talk about, we definitely appreciate some input. Just makes it interesting for us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. As I say, Pat, we should just ditch the screening so it goes direct. But
Release.
yeah. So we're just still waiting for our caller to be able to come through the screen.
Should just,
It's Quentin. He probably want to know when he's going to get his gift card.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He was asking to bring Quentin in. Quentin?
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing well.
good, thanks.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I was wondering about, well, obviously with this new administration, how obviously they killed 11,000 jobs, Keystone Pipeline, and now I don't think a lot of people realize our fuel prices they're shooting up sky high, especially diesel, because I've noticed that in certain places I filled up where diesel was like at $2.69, and then it was I fueled up there again and it was $2.99. How is that going to go as far as when the fuel prices get jacked up like that? Because diesel is going to shoot up sky high, and the bad thing is we're the ones that haul everything in the United States, and it seems like nobody really have any concerns about semi trucks that basically bring every product to the world. Because that's the only way it gets there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get your groceries, you can't get your fuel, you can't get your cars from a dealership if it weren't by a semi truck.
Right. I guess my answer to you, Quentin, would be that pretty much all of our customer contracts that we have fuel surcharges with, which is pretty much all of our customers, I think. Some pay by the mile, some pay by percentage, but all of those are on kind of a predetermined scale. So if fuel is between X and X, then the surcharge is X. If fuel goes up to this, then the surcharge goes up to that. Likewise, when the price of fuel drops, the surcharge drops as well. But I will tell you, there's always a lag, right, between the time fuel prices always start before they go up and before the new surcharge takes effect. But in all honesty, that same lag works when it goes the other direction. So I guess my answer to you would be, as fuel prices increase, our surcharges will increase because contractually they have to. And then on spot market type loads, I think all of our load planners, dispatchers, terminal managers are aware of what the fuel situation is. So if we're getting $1,000 flat rate from a customer or something, instead of putting, 150 on the fuel line, we ought to be smart enough to make that 200 or whatever the case might be. So there's ways we can get more fuel money into your pocket, and those are the primary ways. Fuel surcharge contractually goes up and down with the price of fuel, and then our folks should be increasing what's on the fuel line if there's dramatic spikes in fuel.
Hey, Quentin, one other thing that that number one, that's a great question, because I'm not sure how the shutting down the pipeline is going to affect the fuel prices, but we will have an expert on our next all call next month, Lauren Bailey, who analyzes it. I think he analyzes it by the minute because it changes by the minute. So we'll have him on next month. January is always a tough month because you're calculating last year numbers based on and we're at the end of the month, so we have a little bit of data that we can present to you. But next month we will have a well-rounded report to give to you on fuel prices, where they're at, kind of where they're going, and what the projections are. One thing, I know you're a fleet driver for Michael Hunt. And Mike is well aware of the fuel discounts we get with our EFS card. So I'm sure you got the fuel book app downloaded. I would utilize that in your pre-route before you start your route, so you can check your route and see where the best fuel prices are, whether it's TA, Petro, where you're going to get the biggest discount. Because it gives you real-time information too on when to fuel up, when not to, top off the tanks, and this, that, and the other. So we've got resources, and Lauren Bailey also offers a driver advisory services. So if you want Lauren's number, we can provide that to you. but he will be on our call next month.
And
Okay.
to add into that really quick, this is Alexander with IT. In Drivers IG, I think this would be key for everybody to know about. Inside of Drivers IG, Lauren Bailey has his kind of strategic guide newsletter he posts under the fuel tab. It's called Fueling Strategy. So if you're really trying to follow the market as he does, I would take a look into there, because he posts pretty much every day kind of where the market's going and what he's seeing. So I think that would be key to kind of track that as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good information.
Good information. Way to go, Alex.
Thank you.
I'm glad we have tech people who look at all that
Sit
stuff
around
all day and look at that. But I appreciate it. No, but definitely that's a really good.
Good question, Quentin.
question.
Thank you.
Plus, it gave us a guess for next month. So,
Right.
well, we're going to go ahead and wrap that up. So, just once again, thank everybody and joining us this afternoon, and thank you for all the stuff you do.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Let us know what you want to hear next month. Give us a call, shoot us an email, whatever. We want to be interesting and relevant, so let us know. But thank you all very much, and be safe.
Bye.